Hey, what's up? Hello. If you are new here, my name is Kayla and you are watching Kayla's Bookish Vibes. As you can tell, we are in a new area right now. Honestly, if you've been watching my channel, then you know exactly where I am because I filmed here I think 3 or 4 times at this point, but I am home, back in my hometown visiting my mom. It's currently stormy. This past weekend was graduation weekend for my baby sister, so we were here to see her graduate. So excited for her. And so obviously we stayed here with my mom, but then we got caught in a torrential downpour. I literally had to run for my life into Walmart. I was out getting coffee with my husband, taking advantage of the free babysitters, and we got caught in a torrential downpour. I just wanted coffee, that's all. This guy said he would take me to get coffee, and we got caught in a store. Now we're stuck in Walmart and he won't take me to the book section. Why else get stuck in Walmart if you can't hang out in the book section during a tornado?
People say stay put in the back of the store.
The book section is at the back of the store. The book section is in the back of the store. Still in Walmart, soaking wet, but we finally made it to the book section.
Don't leave out a key detail. It wasn't in the back of the store.
It wasn't.
It's actually in the very front of the store.
It's enough.
Hold on. You don't get away. You don't get away. Who wants to be stuck in Walmart if you can't go to the book section? Look here, safety first. I'm supposed to be in a state of awareness and concern. She over here trying to flip through some pages. I need to make sure there's another chapter in our book.
It was pretty bad. And my hometown is like known for getting hit with tornadoes. They actually just had a tornado come through that did a lot of damage. So I'm going to show you what this Walmart has in their book section. I look crazy because I just got rained on. So don't judge me, okay? The 7-10 split, is this only $4? Or is it in the wrong spot? First of all, this cover is so cute. I'm pretty sure this is a Sapphic Romance. Look at the cover though. Is this $4? I think it's $12, but it's in the wrong spot. You don't want to know? This is a very thick thriller. I'll check that out on Libby. I guess this is like their brown section, black and brown section. 7 Days in June. I know you girlies love this book. They don't even have like, usually Walmart is really good about carrying urban fiction. They don't. Ooh, Mary Monroe. I told you guys they were redoing her covers. I'm seeing more and more of her covers. God don't like ugly. I didn't even realize, y'all, I did not even realize that that's what this book was. Y'all know I have been looking for this book. I didn't see the new cover. Obviously I'm getting this. I'm so excited. Okay. Should I just get the other two since I'm here? I don't think I want to, but I am going to get this one. Y'all know I've been looking for this book. That's crazy. It was literally staring me in my face and I didn't even realize it. Geneva Rose new book. I love the cover of this book. Ooh, it has sprayed edges. Nice touch. The cover of this book is so cool. Look at like the fingerprints on here. They're supposed to look like blood. Is this a sticker? I hate when they put stickers. This is a sticker, so it can be removed. I haven't had a lot of luck with Geneva Rose, so I'm kind of scared to get this book, and I'm gonna wait until more people have like reviews on it. One of us knows. Oh, I'm so glad that there's only like 1 copy left because that means people are buying it. Such an amazing thriller versus this book. I'm so glad this one is full because maybe that means people aren't buying it. It's such a horrible thriller. They have the new Emily Henry, which we got that on sale on Amazon for half off. I got a book and a charger. That's all I really needed. My hair is soaked. My pants are soaked. My shirt is soaked. Over and out.
God bless.
So now we are back at my mom's and we're just gonna kind of hang out here for the weekend. Thankfully it is Memorial Day weekend, so we can just chill. I'm so happy that I brought books and Kayante with me because obviously what should you do on a Saturday or a Sunday? Technically it's Sunday. What should you do on a Sunday when it's pouring rain? Read. I have been experiencing somewhat of a small reading slump. And the series that I have been reading that has been getting me through this reading slump, the Dubelle series. This series is by JJ McAvoy, and I have all 3 books here, although I've been reading the books on my Kindle. You know what's funny? I brought these 3 books knowing that I was going to read on my Kindle, but it's just the comfort of knowing that I have the physical books nearby. First of all, how cute are they together, like on your shelf. So cute. But the first two books I've actually already completed, and I just started the third book today. So I figured I would take you through me reading the third book and just give you a little brief synopsis of the series so far. So these are not standalones. Do you have to read them in order? You don't have to do anything, obviously, but you really should. Like, you're going to miss out on so much, and you're going to spoil so much for yourself if you read this series out of order. So the order is Aphrodite and the Duke. This is the first one. The next one is Verity and the Forbidden Suitor. And then the one that I currently started today is Hathor and the Prince. Now, I made a little reel, or a short, I guess on YouTube it's called a short, but I also made the same reel for Instagram, which if you're not following me, you should be following me over on Bookstagram. It's the same name as my channel, Kayla's Bookish Vibes. So I made a little reel where I was reading these books, honestly saying how this series is getting me out of my reading slump. I have not read a series straight through since I was in middle school. I have never picked up the first book of a series, immediately followed up with the second book of the series, and immediately followed up with the third book of the series. I have not done that in so long, but this series has made me do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because Bridgerton just came out, season 3 of Bridgerton came out, and I binged that. And then obviously they set this season to have 2 parts, which is so annoying. So I was just still in that Bridgerton mood. If you are a Bridgerton girly and you haven't read these books, pick them up. Okay, check out your Libby or Hoopla to see if they have the ebook available, and you can just read from your phone or your Kindle. Check them out from your local library if they have it there, but you need to read the series if you are a Bridgerton fan, and I am for sure a Bridgerton fan. Let me tell you what these books are about. So this is Regency romance. We are set in that time period. The first book being Aphrodite and the Duke. This is if I have to go by tropes, this is a second chance romance. Okay, Aphrodite had fallen previously in love with a childhood friend, I guess you could say. They knew that they loved each other and wanted to be married then, but some things transpired that kept them from getting married. She comes back to her hometown and she runs into him, and things, obviously it's a second chance romance, things start to pick up. I will say what I've loved so much about JJ McAvoy's writing is there's more to the story than just the romance, although the romance hits. These are slow burns as well. Someone asked me if they were spicy because they didn't necessarily like spice. There are spice scenes in this series, but I would say per book so far, since I've only read 2, there's more angst than anything, right? And that's what I love about these books is the slow burn. It's a build up till we get to the moment where they can finally be together. So it's not spice, lots of spice riddled throughout the book. It does build up to a specific scene that is quite spicy, and then we go on with the book. But something else that I really enjoy about this book, not just the slow build up, even though I love that so much, is there's more to it, to the plot, than just the romance. There's also other things going on in the book. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone because I really want you guys to pick this series up. There's more to it than just the romance. There's other things happening. There's more characters, and I love how she builds the characters and places the characters so that you're interested not just in the main characters but in the sub characters, in the side characters. And I will say some of the side characters in Aphrodite obviously become the main characters in Verity and the Forbidden Suitor. So when you read them in order, you're getting to follow characters and storylines, and obviously if you read them in order, you don't spoil anything for yourself, right? Because some of the characters in here are introduced in the first book. Knowing that this was going to be a series, I went in knowing it was a series, when I met the main characters of the second book in the first book, I just already knew. I just already knew that they were going to be the couple in this book. And so I was almost slightly invested in them, even with the small glimpses that we got in this book. However, once we get to this book, I don't want to say dating my brother's best friend, but it's in the title, Verity and the Forbidden Suitor. So she's dating someone that she shouldn't be dating. They're not necessarily enemies. It's just someone that you shouldn't be dating. And that's the one that she's interested in. When I met the main characters in this book, I just knew I was going to love them in this one, and I was not wrong. I think the way that JJ McAvoy did certain scenes in this book They were like the same scenes from this one, but from a different point of view, and I really enjoyed that. It kind of feels like, as the reader, when you're reading the series in order, that you're kind of in on like a little secret. I will say this one has a lot of like mental health exploration for our main character. Another question that I got on the reel were if the main characters or the love interests in these books were Black or people of color. I will say in Aphrodite and the Duke, both love interests are people of color or Black, and then the second book, they're both Black as well, although I do believe the male main interest may be mixed. I don't know if that matters to you. I know why it matters to you. If it doesn't matter to you, kudos to you. You can go forward with that information and do with it what you will. The third book, because I've started this, I believe the male main character in this book is white. So in the first book, we meet the Dubels. The Dubels are a family, an affluent family in this Regency era. I believe, I forget what their title is. They have like a title. The father has a title, and he has like this large family. He has a wife and I want to say like 4 daughters and 1 son, and they just have like this very loving relationship. Think Bridgerton, right? If you watch Bridgerton, then you know that family, they love each other, they bicker with one another, there's lots of children running around, and they all have like this really quaint and sweet relationship with one another that isn't necessarily present in all families during this time period. Only two of the young ladies in the family are coming of age and are entering into society. They have suitors that come to visit them, and we go through that whole situation. It's the rain, sorry. So that's pretty much the basis for all 3 books, and we're just following their unique stories as they find their match, as they find the one that's for them. I love it. It's so sweet. When I did my last like shop my shelves video, where I pretty much made my TBR, I said that I didn't want to read a romance this month like that. I just wasn't in the mood for a romance. And then this reading slump hit me out of nowhere, and the only thing to get me out of the reading slump, romances. Hopefully I was able to explain to you what this series is about without giving anything away of any of the books. Like literally I'm on like chapter 3 or 4, Enemies to Lovers, and I was most excited about this book because Hathor, which is our main character, she is interesting to say the least, because all 3 ladies are very different personality wise, but I can relate to them all on some level. Hathor is jealous of Aphrodite. Aphrodite is her older sister, right? It seems to Hathor that things just come easily for Aphrodite, and she's very jealous of her, but they still have a very loving relationship. Reading about Hathor's characters in the first 2 books, I'm just like, I can't wait till Hathor gets her shine, till she gets her moment in the sun to be who she is supposed to be. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get to her story and to just see her break free of Aphrodite's shadow and to come into her own. These books I've been reading in 1 to 2 days. Okay, I'm not even lying to you. And it's been so long since I've really wanted to read a book that's just like straight through, do nothing else but read the book. But that's what I've been doing with this series, and I don't plan on spending more than 2 days reading Dear Hathor's story. So we will start this book here at my mom's place. We may just finish it because we can't go anywhere. It's raining. This is the perfect time to sit and binge this book. So I will give you guys an update once I get to around the middle portion of the book and let you guys know how I like it. I will say some things that I've really been loving about this series. During this time period, women could really aspire to do not much more than marry and have children, and that was their life, just like to run a household, especially within like high society, which is where these women are. They are in high society, so their main goal is to be married. But I think JJ does a really good job at showing that some of these women don't just desire to be married, that some of them have dreams and aspirations outside of that. Some of them just want to live maybe like a quiet life in the countryside, and they don't necessarily want to be a part of high society where they have to be like waited on hand and foot. Some of these women also have like trauma that has taken place and like a dark past that has occurred, and their desires just aren't necessarily to be like the woman of a home and to have children and run a household. Like that's not all that they aspire to be, even though during this time period that is all that is expected and allowed of them. So I do enjoy like the little bits of feminism that she inserts. I'm also really enjoying that we get dual POV in the entire series. So for me, when I'm reading a romance, I need dual POV. I hate when we only get the female main character's perspective. Like, I want to know what's going on with the man. What is his background like? What is his family life like? What is he struggling with? Like, I want to know just as much about the male main character as I know about the woman's perspective. And JJ does an amazing job at showing both characters, like both points of view. And I think that's another reason why I'm so drawn to this series, is because she dives just as deeply into the men and their background and their trauma as she does with the women. So we get to know why the men are the way they are, like maybe why they behave the way they do, why they've made some of the decisions that they've made, and that sometimes they could just be acting from a place of hurt. But when you only have like one point of view and the male main character is a jerk, you don't know that there's a reason he's a jerk, and you're not cheering for him. I have cheered for every male main character so far, and I love that. So if you're someone who really enjoys dual POV in your romances, you're going to really enjoy this series. Now back to reading. My mother's sunroom is probably my favorite place on earth. But I can just breathe so easy in here and just do what I want to do, which is read peacefully. This is what dreams are made of. I need this. In my forever home, I need a sunroom where I can keep all of my books. And me and my little fur companion, we could literally do this all day. Stop. Y'all, one of the reasons that I love the sunroom is because there's always so much nature back here. I think my mom feeds them with like a salt brick, she says, and I think they also put corn back there because she enjoys watching them too. But there's a turkey right here, right there. I know it may look like a stump or something, but that is a wild turkey eating with the deer in my mother's backyard. Tell me my mom's not a Disney princess and I'll call you a liar. It has stopped raining and now I'm going to get my nails done. I think I mentioned before that my little cousin does a really good job at doing nails. So she's sending me on a little store run. But in return, she's going to be doing my nails and we definitely need a fill. So let's take a little break from reading and go get our nails done. And I think I need a smoothie. Let's go. Okay guys, we're currently at the playground, but I wanted to give my final thoughts on Hather and the Prince. This is the last book in the series. Honestly, I'm really hoping that the series continues because there were other sisters in this series. They were just like younger. So I'm hoping that we get like their story as well, kind of like the Bridgerton series. I have a little confession to make. I've never actually read the Bridgerton series, like the actual book. I've only watched the show. I really don't plan on reading the books because I know that they're so much different from the show. And I just really enjoy the show. So I don't want to like ruin the books for myself because of the show, and I don't want to ruin the show because of the book. So I probably will never actually read the Bridgerton series. But I do love the heck out of that show. I want to know more about the other sisters. I also would love like a prequel if we could get like how the Dubels met, like the mom and the dad of the family. If we could get their love story as a prequel, that would be so dope, because I feel like in that one we could also explore like the mother's friendship to Verity's mothers. Aphrodite and Hather are sisters, and Verity is just a friend, right? But Verity's mom was Aphrodite and Hather's mom's like bestie. And so I would love to see like their friendship blossom in that story of a prequel, which I think would be really cool. And I feel like the mom in the Dubel series was like one of my favorite characters, at least for the first two books. The first two books, she was like one of my favorite characters because she was such a strong character, and she just had everybody whipped into shape. Okay, I can only imagine what it's like to be a mom to so many kids and to run like a household and be a wife. I only have 2 kids, and sometimes I feel like I'm about to lose it. But the amount of responsibility that she had and the way that she was just so easily able to like maneuver it. I say easily. Her kids gave her help, okay? All of them did. But I think she handled it very well. And what to call her, because I forget her name in the book. I just called her Mama Dubel in my mind. But I really enjoyed her character. And I would love to know what she was like when she was a bit younger in her, you know, prior to having kids. So there's that. Hather's story. I loved the banter that was in this book because, like I said, it is like an enemies to lovers trope. I loved the banter. It was just absolutely so cute. And I feel like we got to see a little bit more of the queen in this book compared to like the other 2 books. I will say you could tell that the queen was based off of like the Bridgerton series, like the show. And I didn't mind as much. And honestly, it's probably because the queen wasn't like a huge character in the book, but she was present. But I will say you could tell that this character was based off of the one in Bridgerton, which, you know, it is what it is. This is like a Bridgerton vibe book. It even says on some of the books, like for fans of Bridgerton, or if you're a fan of Bridgerton, you would love the series. And I would have to agree. If you are a fan of Bridgerton, you would love this series down. I loved how angsty the series was overall together. Like, all 3 books were slow burns, and I personally really enjoy a slow burn in a romance. I really enjoyed the tropes in each romance. I think they were executed really well. If I had to rate this series as a whole, it would be 5 stars. Like, as a whole, all 3 books, the series together, and how they connected and all of that, the overall story that they've told, I would give the series a 5 star. But I think I gave each book a 4 star. Really enjoyed it, and I really, really hope that she continues on with this series. I want to know more about the Dubels. I want to know, especially, and I feel like she will, because there's another sister, Diavana. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I feel like we're getting a little glimpse, a little peek into the beginning of her story. So I'm really hoping that that is going to be the next book in this series. And then there's a younger sister, like the baby sister of the bunch, and I'm hoping maybe we get her story too. I think 5 books would be really good for a series. If I had to pick one of these books as a standout that was my favorite, I think I would have to pick Verity's book. And that's like by a hair, okay? Because I loved them all 3 down. Like, I could sit and nitpick and tell you favorite moments from each book, but I think Verity's book is my favorite, literally by a hair. And then Hather's book, and then Aphrodite and the Duke's book. But again, I loved them all, and I highly recommend this series if you are a Bridgerton fan. Even if you're not a Bridgerton fan, you've never seen the series, but you're really into like Regency romance, this is amazing. And even if you're not into Regency romance, I think you would still really like this book. It's just a very angsty, slow burn romance with some really key moments in it. And how can you go wrong with that? Thank you so much, guys, if you made it to the end of today's video. I really appreciate it. Leave this emoji to let me know that you made it to the very end. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.